Hello my friends, this is Shelley from Koala Knits and Knacks, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this double crochet dishcloth. Very simple, very easy, beginner friendly. I used Bernat 100% cotton yarn and a 5mm hook, H hook. So once you get your supplies, then join me and we'll make one together. Also, please watch to the end of the video because I show you how I package them and how I sell them. So it's a beautiful idea to show for displaying your dishcloths and selling them in packages. So follow through to the end and you will see that. All right, my friends, let's get started. All right, so together we're going to make this square dishcloth, and it is 8.5 by 8, so not quite square but almost. Okay, and so one of the members of my Facebook group, Koala Knits and Knacks, asked me if I would make a simple dishcloth. She is just learning to crochet and she wanted me to teach her how to do a simple one. So Claire, this is for you. I hope that you are successful in making it. I know you will be. This is just beautiful variegated Bernat handicrafted cotton, and I wonder what color it is. Let me just see. I don't think there is a color on this. It looks like an old, it's called Playtime. I can see that, Playtime. So it's gorgeous, I love it. So we're going to make another one just like it, and it's very simple. All we need to know how to do is double crochet, actually. So we're going to make a slip knot. So Claire and anybody else who's learning, you're gonna just wrap it around your finger like that and over the top, okay? Then, so it's just like a loop like that. So you're gonna stick your hook in there and you're gonna pull up on that end, and then you're going to get that on your hook just like that. So this is a beginner crochet video. So if you are an advanced crocheter and you know how to do this, then just fast forward until you get to the pattern and you'll whip through it in no time. Okay, so now we're going to do a foundation chain. So that means we're going to yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook. That's 1. We're going to do a total of 30. Yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, when you're doing this, you do it with very little tension. You just let that yarn slip through your fingers. You don't want it tight at the base, okay? So now I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to keep going. Yarn over, through the loop, 7. Yarn over, through the loop, 8. Yarn over, 9. Yarn over, through the loop, 10. This is a foundation chain. 11, 12, 13, 14. After every 2 stitches, move your finger and your thumb up to pinch it. 15, 16, 17, 18. I want to just make sure that's what I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Make sure that yarn in your ball is loose. 28, 29, and 30. Okay, so we've done our foundation chain of 30 and it looks like this, okay? Might help you to use a solid color at first, okay? But I'm going to persevere with this one and I hope you can see the stitches. Okay, so we have 30 chains on our foundation chain. We do not count the one that's on our hook, but we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and in that 4th chain from the hook, we're going to yarn over, go into that top bar of that stitch, yarn over, grab that yarn, pull it up. You've got 3 bars on your hook. You're going to move up your hook so that this chain that you just, or loop that you just put on your hook, matches the height of those ones, okay? So then you're going to yarn over, you're going to pull through 2 of those loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 of those loops. You've just done a double crochet, okay? Before we go any farther, I want you to just pull that out for a second. I want you to grab yourself a stitch marker. Now, right where this is coming out, okay, right there, this is that the top of our double crochet right here. So that's this first loop right here is the top of our double crochet, this first stitch right here. I want you to put your stitch marker in that next one right below it because that's the top of the chain 2, okay? So this chain 2 is our turning chain. And we're going to have a chain 2 on every end, okay? But sometimes that's hard for new beginners to find, so put your stitch marker in that one. Again, we did our first double crochet. This is the double crochet. This is the end, top of our double crochet. This is then the stitch right below it is our top of our chain 2, okay? So now you're going to put your hook back in that loop. You're going to look at that next chain. It's right there. You're going to yarn over, go into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and make it just the same size as those ones. Yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. That's another double crochet. We're going to do that all the way down the row. So you can look on my channel for how to, and I'll teach you how to do a double crochet in more detail, or like slower, and that's all we're going to work on. If you don't know how to do a double crochet, you need to learn how to be comfortable with that before you tackle this. But we're just going to double crochet all the way down this foundation chain into that top. You'll see all those little V's that are there, into that top part of the stitch, just like that. Then yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. And that's what our foundation, that's what our first row is looking like, okay? Just a row of double crochets. So we're going to continue on down the row. Yarn over, then yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You don't want that loop to stay short like that. You want to bring it up so it's equal. And then you're going to yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. Oftentimes when you're a newcomer, you'll go and also, well, first let me tackle this one thing. You're a newcomer, you'll go into here, you'll pull this up, and then you'll leave it short like that. And then you're going to have a really not nice looking double crochet. So you want to pull that up until it matches the height of the other 2. Okay, just like that. Yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. Another thing, when you're going down your foundation chain row, make sure that you don't twist it, okay? So that's what the front looks like. That's what you need it to look like. If it's twisting, it'll look like that, and that's wrong, okay? So it's got to be smooth, looking like that. And go through every one of those stitches, and when you get to the end, I'll show you what to do next, okay? Right, I just lowered my camera a little bit, and I'll show you again. So you're going to yarn over. You're going to go into that top part of the stitch there. You're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, making sure that you raise it so it's as high as these other ones. Yarn over and go through 2, and go through 2. Yarn over, go into that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over. Yarning over is when you pick up when you put your hook underneath the yarn and you lift it and you take a hold of it. We're gonna take that through 2. Then we're gonna yarn over and take it through the next 2. Okay? We're doing double crochets all the way down, just like so. You hear that little bobby pin scratching on the on the table there. I love to use bobby pins. If you follow my channel, you know that they're easy to put in, easy to take out, and they don't fall out because they're long, just the right length. So that's my stitch marker of choice. Okay, so we're almost near the end. So I'm going to keep going with you until we get there. All right. If you are just learning to crochet and this is your first project, I'm proud of you. You can do it. Crochet is so much fun, and it opens up a whole new world because there's so many things you can do with crochet, but there's already also, when we're knitting on our Addi knitting machines or our Centro knitting machines, we can add crochet to our knit work, and our options are so much greater then. So it's good. It's a good craft to learn. So there's the last one right beside the knot there. I'm going to go in, do the same thing, do a double crochet. Okay. Then I'm going to just pull on that knot to tighten it a little bit. So I'm going to lift up on that so I can take my hook out. And this is what our first row is going to look like. Okay. That's why it's very important not to do your foundation row too tight, because that will set the whole precedence, that will set the whole tone for the rest of your dishcloth. Because if you do that really tight, this is going to be all It's going to pull on that first row, and then it's going to, as you go up, it's going to get looser, and it's not going to look nice, okay? So you want to make sure that your foundation row is a nice even tension and not too tight. So this chain 2 here, we're not going to count that as a double crochet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 double crochets. We had started out with a chain with a foundation row of 30, but then we did our first stitch into that 4th chain from the hook. So those first 3 chains, the first 3 there will make our, we're not counting that, okay? So that's how come we have 27 double crochets. So count your double crochets. Don't count this chain where your bobby pin is in, and you should have 27, okay? So now that we're at the end of the row there, put my hook back in. You're going to chain 2. So 1 and 2. Then you're going to turn your work like it's a book. So take that and just flip it over like that, okay? But what I want you to do is, well, let's put it back for 1 second, okay? Until you get used to finding where your stitches are, where your chain 2 is, take another stitch marker and put it in that stitch, okay? This was the second chain that you did. So you're going to put a stitch marker in there, and it's easier to do it when you see it from the front than when you turn it, okay? Eventually, you're going to be able to figure out where that chain 2 is, and you're not going to need these stitch markers. But until you can figure that out at a glance, then you need to do it, because you really want your work to be straight. See how I've got a straight edge here? It's completely straight. That's because I've gone into my chain 2 on every row, and I haven't made a mistake there. So we're going to now, okay, we've turned our work like a book. Okay, we've got that little bobby pin there for our next, when we come back. So just get that out of the way there. But if you trail down that chain 2 and pull the base of it, you'll see that little loop there, right? That's what we're going to go into. That's the base of our chain 2. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to do a double crochet into that stitch. Okay, then we're going to yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. Okay, so that's the only stitch that we're going to go into. The rest of the time we're going to go in between our double crochets. We're gonna, because we worked this top one here, we're gonna miss this space right here, and we're gonna go into this next space. You're gonna yarn over, you're gonna insert your hook right into that space, and you're gonna do a double crochet. Okay, yarn over, go to the next space right there, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. So you're going to just do double crochets this whole project, okay? And chains. So into that next hole, you're going to do a double crochet. Into that next space, you're going to do a double crochet. How easy is that? And into that next space, a double crochet. All the way down, except for the very last space. So when you get close to the end there, stop and come see what I'm going to do, okay? So I'm going to go into that next space, and then the next space, and the next space, only doing one double crochet in each space, okay? Trying to keep my tension even all along the project as I go, okay? All right, so when I get to the end, I'll come back on and I'll show you what I do next, okay? So we're working on row 2. Okay, so see me back when you get to the end. All right, so I'm at the end, and we're not going to count this chain here, okay? But we're going to start counting that next one, and we should have, to where I am now, we should have 26. So that is because here's the last space right here. You see this space right here? That very last one. So right now I'm in this space. And then there's one more space that's made by that chain 2 there. We're not going to go into there. Instead, we're going to go into where our stitch marker is, okay? So once you get here, that's 26 double crochets, not including the chain that's at the front there. And we're going to go into where that bobby pin is. Okay, so we're gonna miss that last space. We're gonna yarn over. We're gonna go into that chain 2 where the bobby pin is, do a double crochet. Okay, take out your bobby pin. That double crochet counts as 27. That's not a chain, so that counts as 27. Now we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. Take your bobby pin, put it in that chain. Okay, we're not counting that as a double crochet. We're going to turn this, turn our work. We're going to go into the base of that chain 2, which is right there. So when I pull that, you see this one line down there, and you see the 2 loops up, or the loop up there, okay? So that's your stitch that we're going to go into. So yarn over, go into that double crochet, top of that double crochet, yarn over, pull, and then finish off your double crochet right like that, okay? That's the only stitch, top of a stitch, that we go into this whole project on either ends, okay? Whenever we turn. Then we're going to miss this loop, because that's what this one was for. We're going to go into this second loop, and we're going to do a double crochet. And we're on chain 3. Go into that next space between your double crochets and do a double crochet. So into the next space between your double crochets and do a double crochet all the way down to the end. I'll show you one more turn because this is a repeat pattern. You're just going to do the same thing for 14 rows, okay? So let me get to the end. Going into every space between the double crochets, and I'll meet you back when we get to the end. All right, so I finished row 3, and I'm not going to count this chain that's at the end here, but I'm going to count all the other double crochets, and I should have 26 until I do my last one. Okay, so I've worked into this space right. Oops, where's my into this space right here. Then this space that is made by the chain, we're not going to work into, right? We leave that one. We were going to work into the top of the chain 2 where our stitch marker is, okay? So I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to put that into that space, take that out. I'm going to do my double crochet, and that's number 27, okay? And when I do it that way, because I'm putting it in the space there, I'm going to have a straight row all the way up. If I've counted right and I'm putting it into that last stitch, that's where my straight rows come. Look at how beautiful that is, okay? So that's 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. We don't count our foundation chain, our foundation row as a row in a pattern, okay? So then chain 2, 1, 2, take your stitch marker, put it into that second chain so that you know where to go when you get back to there. Turn your work. And what are we going to do now? We're going to put it into the base of that stitch right there and do a double crochet. Then, because we did it up here, we missed this first little loop. We're going to go in, or space, we're going to go into the next one with a double crochet. Okay? And we're going to go all the way down the row, just like what we have been doing. Okay? And we're going to do this process until we get 14 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you're on your 14th row, you'll end over here, and your tail will be on this side, okay? Where it is now, okay? So our odd rows came this way, our even rows are going this way with the tail on this end. But it's reversible. It's because you keep turning it, so it's the same, but just you'll know you have 14 rows. When you've counted 14, if your tail is on the right side, then you know you've finished your 14th row over here, okay? Or your 14th row on this end. Okay, so go ahead and finish that. And when you get to 14 rows completed, I will show you how we finish off. And my friends, that's it for this dishcloth. But yet it's so beautiful. Like, look at it. The stitch is gorgeous. Anyways, keep going. And when you're done that, come back and see me. Okay, so I'm finished row 14. And if you are at this point in the video, then you are as well. So we are almost done. I'm just going to finish off my last stitch here and show you how easy it is to close it off. Okay, so we're going to go into this last loop there, and then we have that space between Let me just get that on the table. We have that space in between our last double crochet from the previous row and our chain, okay? So we're gonna miss that space and we're gonna go into the top of this chain 2 into the second stitch and we're gonna double crochet, okay? Oops. You're gonna double crochet just like that. And now all your rows are done. You have a straight seam. I gotta tack this placemat down so it doesn't keep jiggling around. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to yarn over, pull that through, cut off your tail. You don't need very long because you're just gonna hide it, just enough to get it on your needle and to hide it, okay? Now we've got our dishcloth all completed. All we have to do is hide our tails. It's the same on both sides, see? It's gorgeous. You have a nice straight edge on both sides, okay? It might be a little wonky from holding it the way you were, like when you hold it to do each row, but when you straighten it out, it is beautiful, okay? So there you go. There's your first double crochet. Well, for Claire, it's your first double crochet dishcloth. But for others of you who have crocheted, like I've crocheted for quite a few years, and this is one of my favorites. I make this one all, like, I haven't actually done a lot of crocheting in a while because since I got my knitting machines, I like, if you're watching this video, I also have on my channel, you'll see that there's a bunch of circular knitting patterns as well, and that's what I seem to have been doing for the last little while. So but I was excited to make this dishcloth, and I'm trying to add more crochet work to my channel, so it will be coming. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and you'll be seeing more crochet patterns as well as the knitted patterns. Okay, so I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to do that on the other side as well, and then I have a beautiful dishcloth, and I'm going to show you how I put these together with, I wrap them in bundles of 3 dishcloths. I used to sell a lot of these, and again, I haven't focused on them in a while, so I'm being inspired now to get back into that. But I'm going to show you how I package them for sale. So stick with me. Once you hide all your ends, then come back. All right, so to show you how I actually have been selling them, or in the past, it's been a couple of years actually, but I like I said, I'm inspired to get back into it. I found these online, and if you go to Google, you can just type in crochet goodness labels. I think they came off of Pinterest, but they're a free thing, and I just bought the craft paper. I took a piece of regular computer paper and I measured it out and cut this craft paper into that size so that it would fit into my printer, and then I just printed out these labels, okay? And so they say crocheted with love, handmade crochet goodness, handmade with love, crocheted with love, and handmade crochet goodness. So then all I do is I cut along those perforated lines as straight as I can. I do have a cutter as well, and I should probably use that, but for this purpose I'm just gonna show you. See, and the reason why I do, because I already got it a little crooked, or maybe not. Okay, and so then you're gonna just cut them along these lines so that the line isn't showing. I don't want that showing in any part, so cut right on it or right under it, because again, like I say in my video, detail is everything. All the little things that you do make a huge difference in your presentation. Okay, so I'm going to take those out of the way. Okay, and then what I do is I take 3 cloths. Now this is a waffle stitch one that I've made, and I'm gonna make that for my channel as well in time. But I'm gonna take my cloths and I'm going to fold it in that way, okay, just like that, into the middle. Then take the other side, fold that into the middle. Then I'm gonna fold that like that, and I have one done. Generally, I will do 2 colored ones and 1 white one. And this one is a little bit smaller than what I prefer to put with this, but that's what I have, so I'm going to do that. And I do the same thing, just fold it in. It's only a little bit shorter, so it's fine. Okay, and then I'm going to fold this one in too, so into the middle with your stitches going up. So you want a presentation, you got to keep them the same, okay? And like that. And I have those 3 together like that. Then I take my band and I put it over, just like so. I literally take a piece of tape and I give it a tape, and I make sure I tuck that underneath the edges there. Put another one on. I'm going to tuck that down underneath. That's the back. This is the front. And that's how I will put them on my table at my next craft sale to sell. I can't wait to make more of these. I've missed crocheting so much, okay? Tuck these little ends in so it's all nice and straight. But that, my friends, is how I sell my crochet dishcloths, okay? So you go ahead and use that idea, and once you get your bundles made, post them on my Facebook group, because inspire us all. I love it when you make my things off of my patterns and off of my channel, but I love it even just as much as when you post it in our group, because it inspires all of us. Even if it's the same pattern, different colors and everything inspire people. So go ahead, make these, post it in my Facebook group, and yeah, happy crocheting, my friends.